to make a decision on the project tonight, but those living there say their concerns aren't being listened to.
Berkeley Homes have put forward a planning application for this conservation area, which is going to be impacting a number of Grade 2 listed buildings. They'll be extending one of them, adding new apartments and new commercial spaces, and they'll also be adding a large tower block on top of one of the Grade 2 listed buildings. Finally, they'll be turning a public space, that could potentially be a nice area for the community, into a taxi rank and service vehicle delivery zone. There's a real sense of injustice, I suppose, from the local residents. It's a social housing area. There's a lot of shared home ownership as well, and the planning application is impacting them the most by putting a 11-story tower block 15 and a bit metres away from their properties.
Despite coming together quite impressively as a community, we feel very excluded from this planning process. Berkeley Homes held a community consultation before they even made a planning application, and we had, as a community, put together a petition listing all our big primary concerns. Despite us submitting those concerns, nothing was taken on board that reflected they had heard us. So their planning application submitted to the council had no amendments. Berkeley Homes then made some further amends, but they were quite inconsequential and didn't address any of the community concerns. The council has already gone ahead and made a recommendation to approve the planning application. It's quite demoralizing because we thought, okay, we've come out in big numbers for this. If you're not going to listen to us as a community now, when are the community voices going to be heard?
There needs to be some tweaking about how the needs of the community are as paramount as the needs of the developer. And in these circumstances, wonderful to have Crossrail coming to Woolwich, but effectively having a constant car park full of taxis outside people's doors does not help in terms of air quality. And those are the issues of concern. So I think the residents are quite keen to ensure that those issues are flagged up. And at the end of the day, I guess, in the event of the planning board coming to a decision that may not accord to their wishes, I suspect we'll want to raise the matter with the mayor and others anyway in the longer term.
Well, some more reaction to this then. This is what Berkeley has had to say to us with regards to some of those comments. We had a public exhibition in May to encourage feedback on the proposals and help us develop the scheme. We looked at all the feedback and made sure that concerns raised were addressed in the planning application was submitted in August. It went on to say we are committed to working with everybody as we take this important step towards completing the Heritage Quarter at Royal Arsenal Riverside. Well, Greenwich Council also gave their take on it. Here's what their spokesperson had to say. The council is following due process and all responses will be taken account of when the planning board reviews the application this evening, and residents will be able to voice their views. It went on to say our dealings with developers are entirely on a professional level. Allegations of developer bullying are just ridiculous. Stay with us, we are taking a break.
Funny council. I'd also like to note in this video that Berkeley Homes held that consultation, yes, and I admitted to that, but they did not take on board any of the community responses to that, and they also did not approach us, and we had said that we were warmly welcome and willing to engage in discussion with them if they wanted to follow up on anything that we had said as a community. They did not follow up. Also, Greenwich Council, you have approved or gone ahead and made a recommendation to accept the planning application before the community consultation process has even closed. So while indeed you are following due process, you are merely ticking boxes and not actually engaging in the spirit of consultation with your community, and that is quite upsetting. Toward